Greg Fisher. He's the mayor right now, mayor of Louisville. Last mayor. Probably the last video. So let's get started. Greg Fisher. He's a Democrat, just recently elected, first term. Going to be going up for re-election. So he's the 50th mayor. So we've had 50 mayors here. How many can you actually name? There's 50 of them. There's been 50 mayors. Do you know any of the other ones? So you have, so you have Greg Fisher, who's been in there for about 3 years, and he's running for re-election. He's the one that follows Jerry Abramson. Really, I feel like it's just those three: David Armstrong, Jerry Abramson, and Greg Fisher. Those are the ones that most people would know in the last 2 decades. A few quick stories. Stumbo is now open to a local option sales tax. So 4th Street Live wants to tax more, and so he's going to allow them to get more sales tax. They have to ask Frankfurt in order to get any of this permission because they're the one that give us the city charter. But really, he's the king of the fucking nation state, so I don't know why. I don't know. Greg Stumbo says he's open to the idea, but with reservations. But I don't even know why he even has to ask permission. Mayor also says that bourbon is a food group, so he wants to like highlight the things that we have here. And since we got bourbon, then fuck, it's a food group. It's fucking important around here. I don't care for bourbon particularly. I do know that, you know, it is like a Kentucky thing, but there's also Jim Beam. It's plantation lemonade is all it was. It started out, you know, being made by slave owners. And or Jack Daniels, one of them, either Jack Daniels or Jim Beam. And bourbon, it's alcohol. All that shit tastes nasty. It's unhealthy for you. It's the worst drug out there, worse than crack, worse than heroin, worse than any fucking drug out there. But it doesn't stop these motherfuckers from just bragging about it and say, hey, everybody, let's go drink some fucking bourbon. It's like food here. So it's just, I don't know, if there's poppy fields around here, I feel like Fisher would be like, hey, get our fucking heroin. It's the best shit we got. If there was weed fields, get our weed. It's the best weed we got. But since we got bourbon, you know, we have moonshine too. But since bourbon is something we have legally, then he's like, hey, everybody come get your fucking bourbon. I don't know. I ain't going to hate on him for it, but he's a corporate Democrat, right? So he's a fucking businessman trying to fucking make Louisville into a business. And unfortunately, capitalism doesn't cure pollution. Capitalism doesn't cure poverty and homelessness. And capitalism doesn't cure anything where you have to care or use compassion. If it comes down to the free market and competition, only what's profitable is what people will do. And there's no profit in cleaning up the pollution. There's profit in our lungs and there's profit in our overall community standards, but there's no profit in actually it's just all expenses, right? To clean up any pollution or to limit the emissions that factories are putting out there. Fisher's going to put $5.5 million into Dixie Highway. Supposedly it's Dixie Dieway. There's places where they can die. They're going to be putting a lot of money on Crumbs Lane to Rockford Lane. That's where the phase 1 is going to be focused on, from Crumbs Lane to Rockford Lane. So, you know, some developments that's going on here. So what has he accomplished? What has Greg Fisher accomplished since he's been in office? Greg Fisher's committed to growing jobs. This is from his own thing. From the summit. This is the shit that he put out there. So, committed to growing jobs and create a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship. Greg Fisher is 50th mayor in 2010. Since he took office, Mayor Fisher's pursued 3 top goals. He wants to make Louisville a city of lifelong learning, right? So let's get educated forever. A healthy city, so let's be strong, let's exercise, and even more compassionate. So we need compassion, health, and education, all just positive, wonderful things, right? As a businessman and entrepreneur, he brings a data-driven approach to city government with the goal of making it more efficient and accessible. Greg chairs the U.S. Conference of Mayors Metro Economies Committee, which addresses economic problems facing nation cities and their citizens. Mayor Fisher's, he should be like Aberson. Why can't he be the fucking, you know, the president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors? He's just on the economics committees. The accomplishments of Mayor Fisher include securing $5 million Bloomberg Philanthropies grant to identify more efficient ways to provide city services, which led to the creation of the Mayor's Innovation Delivery Team. He created 22,000 new jobs in the region, helping Louisville's economic recovery outpace the national recovery, initiating the regional Bluegrass Economic Advancement Movement at Lexington to grow jobs and advance manufacturing. So 22,000 new jobs. That isn't that many jobs. There's 500,000 people here. 22,000 new jobs. That's all you created in the 4 years you've been there. He's also talking about the regional bluegrass economic advancement movement with Lexington, so advanced manufacturing. And he later on bitches about not having any capital put into it. Says, I want to do all these good ideas, but I don't have capital. So what, you got to tax the people so you can get your business ideas fucking up and running, so you can give your, steal our money to give to your criminal friends on Wall Street. Lowering the cost and breaking ground Ohio Rivers Bridges Project. It's a $2 billion initiative. It's been talked about in Louisville for 4 decades. Launching a citywide compassion journey, becoming the largest American city to sign the International Charter for Compassion, creating a Give a Day Community Service Week, led to Louisville being named America's most livable city. Greg's an entrepreneur, businessman, and philanthropist who started several businesses, including Servin International and Iceberg Ventures, a private investment firm. He also co-founded B Catalyst, the first business accelerator in Louisville. Greg is a 1980 graduate at Vanderbilt University to help pay for college, finance a trip around the world. Greg worked summers during college in Kodiak, Alaska as a crane operator on the fishing docks. His year abroad, most of it spent in Asia, gave him a global perspective on life and business. Greg and his wife, Alexandra, have 4 children. Louisville Mayor Greg Fisher announced his re-election bid. In a message to supporters, Louisville Mayor Greg Fisher announced he is ready for running for re-election in 2014. The mayor had avoided the question when asked about seeking a second term in recent weeks, and the timing of the announcement changed from January to midsummer. At the time, there were rumors he was considering a bid for the U.S. Senate seat. He said he felt like he needed to go ahead and let everybody know what he was doing, and he's had a lot of accomplishments, so take a look at all these accomplishments. He's like, hey, I got 22,000 new jobs here. Wow, over the past 2 years, 22,000 new jobs. He defeated Hal Heiner in a close election, barely defeated Hal Heiner. Hal Heiner actually has political capital in here if he wanted to throw his hat in the ring. Critical issue for us as a city right now, like it is for every American city, is how we're going to turn this bridge to be a city of innovation in the 21st century. Turn this bridge to be a city. So maybe bridge the gap is what he's talking about, or is he actually talking about the fucking bridge? The bridge itself is going to bring us into the 21st century. That's more job growth, and that's job growth focused on technology, engineering. So there's a lot to do there. Maybe the new bridge will actually fucking bring some things in. But if it's fucking toll roads, fuck you. You're fucking over the people just for your corporate buddies, and I'm tired of you fucking over the people, nickel and diming us fucking death when we're barely struggling out here. You know, we're struggling out here. We're barely surviving. Metro Councilman Ken Fleming, a Republican, and a rumored mayoral candidate. He's like, I wish him luck, but I don't think he's really doing a good job. Fleming said he wasn't interested in running, and it says here that if he would have ran, that he'd have to give up his seat. So that's an interesting city charter, that if you're a city councilman and you run for mayor, you're not allowed to keep your city council job. Besides new jobs, Mayor Fisher asserts that he is developing a safer city through the creation of the Metro Police Viper Squad to pursue violent repeat offenders. That initiative was announced last summer as an idea by Chief Steve Conrad, however. So, the fucking Viper Squad. Yes, wonderful fucking Viper Squad. Yes, Greg Fisher, man, I'm so glad you're keeping me fucking safe, Greg Fisher. Greg Fisher don't give a shit about the safety of the Louisville people. Greg Fisher don't give a shit about anybody but his corporate buddies, okay? He didn't give a shit about 99%, doesn't give a shit about the homeless people, and he doesn't give a shit about the safety of the fucking people. The Viper Squad is a violent fucking organization. It's a rogue militia organization going around just like they killed Desmond Rudolph, just like they killed Michael Newton. They killed all these people without any... they were in plain clothes, okay? So you have Joel Casey and you got Aaron Browning just joyriding, and they about running into me, and they say, get the fuck out of the road, and they jump out and they kick my ass. Give me $28,000 in medical bills. They put a felony charge on me, so I'm looking at 5 years in prison. And so, you know, you have $28,000 in medical bills. $28,000 just because I decided to go for a walk in America one day. I decided to go for a walk in America one day, and the LMPD jumped me in my own backyard. How could you tell they're LMPD? You couldn't. They were wearing flannel, they were wearing baseball caps, but they're the fucking Viper Squad. So they're Mayor Fisher's basically personal fucking bodyguard, or they're fucking Steve Conrad's personal bodyguards. They go around, they're supposed to stop violence, but they ain't stopping violence, they're initiating violence. They're the problem. They're worse than any fucking... I've never had anybody just jump me like that. So no citizens, no KKK member, no black person, no Asian person, nobody. No citizen out here has ever done that to me. But the LMPD have. And the LMPD, it just shows you they're not there for your protection. They're not protecting and serving. In fact, over the intercom, Joel Casey, he says, oh man, one of them just got me. One of them just started swinging at me. What do you mean, one of them? One of the fucking people in Louisville? One of we the people? We're a citizen and you're supposed to be protecting and serving us, Joel Casey, but you ain't protecting and serving me the whole time. If you haven't given a shit the whole time, you have not given a shit. You're a fucking psycho. You did damage to me and you keep on putting damage on top of me. You had to cover up your crimes, okay? So you hurt somebody and you keep covering up your crimes. You don't have empathy for others. You're a psycho. You have no empathy. You have no anxiety. Those are the traits of a serial killing psychopath. And the injuries don't stop. The injuries have not stopped. $28,000. This is last year in December. $28,000 in medical bills, right? They broke my nose. So $28,000 just for walking down the street one day and running into these fucking assholes who was doing a U-turn. They're doing a fucking crazy-ass U-turn in the middle of the road. So they're bad fucking drivers. They're driving fucking violently. You know, they want to throw any charge for any dumb little shit. That's fucking attempted vehicular manslaughter. But whatever. They beat me up and then they throw an assault and police officer charge on me, throw a resisting arrest charge on me, throw a menacing on me, and throw disorderly conduct on me. All that, and my mistake in this entire thing was ever submitting to them. When I'm ready, I didn't know there was police. When they come up and they're about to fight me, they jump out in the middle of the car, in the middle of the fucking interstate. I don't know who the fuck they are, or in the middle of the intersection. And, you know, there's the traffic, it's a bad neighborhood and shit. I'm just going to the fucking block. They're cussing at me about running me over. Now they're jumping out in the middle of the intersection. They want to fight. That's what they are doing. They're irresponsible. They're loud. They're obnoxious. They're violent. They have guns. These people are not here to protect me. I do not feel safe in this city, okay? They're the ones that are going to protect me. What would happen if I got robbed? I know what would happen if I got robbed. It doesn't matter if it's $1,600 worth of stuff. $1,600 worth of stuff was stolen from me, and I reported it. I knew the guys that did it. They lived right down the road. I give them the address, and I give them a face. I give them a name, face, address. I give them everything. Did they serve and protect me? Did they get a witness? Did they arrest anybody? No, they don't give a shit about actual injustice. They don't give a shit if anybody here is actually victimized by somebody. They just want, I'm boss around here. You'll respect me no matter fucking what. Don't look me in the eye, boy. Don't fucking say nothing to me. I'm the fucking king around here. That's why when they was joyriding in their fucking car trying to run motherfuckers over, not giving a shit. Oh, look at me. I'm a fucking cop. I don't have to wear no fucking, you know, I ain't got to wear nothing on me. I ain't got to do, you know, I don't have to tell anybody I'm a police officer. I'm allowed to do as I please. I'm allowed to do as I want. Joyride, look for fights. Who gives a shit? Oh, wait, you think somebody's going to stop them? You think there's going to be a police review board? You think citizens are actually going to get some power and stand up against this? No. Not at all. And it's, you know, they're molester oppressors. They're molester oppressors. To think that somebody who can oppress you and beat you up wouldn't do some nasty stuff to you is ridiculous. And it's ridiculous because that's what happened. So not only did they give me $28,000 in jail, they give me a charge, so I'm looking at 5 years in prison. 5 years in prison because the LMPD jumped me in my own backyard. That's why I'm looking at 5 years in prison. And yes, this all falls on Mayor Fisher's and Steve Conrad's head because I've gone to the complaint, the merit board or whatever, the fucking police people that I talked to them. I've filed all the complaints. I did all the things I'm supposed to do. And at no point at any time did Judge Delahunty actually say, well, what actually happened? You know, what actually indicated. Judge Delahunty wanted me to, he was pushing for me to go to jail. He didn't give a shit about what happened. He's on the cops, side of the cops. He's there for the conviction. He's there to throw motherfuckers in the jail and to laugh at them. That's what they do. That's what people in authority do. And so not only did I get $28,000 in bills, I got, you know, a mangled face, right? My shit's slightly off kilter. And it's whistles when I sleep, so I have to, you know, I have to walk around being a monster. It's a total traumatic thing that had happened to me. I have to go around with a crooked nose. I have to go around with my nose whistling. I have to go with $28,000 in medical bills over my head. And there's 5 years in, you know, a felony charge. They was looking to send me into prison for 5 years. None of that happened. I was able to fight, knock that down, knock the assault down, knock the disorderly conduct down, not the resisting arrest down, menacing. They charged 4 charges on me. Malicious prosecution. They fucked me up. Then 4 fucking charges on me for this 2-minute incident. This 2-minute incident where they jumped and beat the shit out of me. and it was over, and that was it. And then they lied about it as much as they can, and they continue to lie about it, right? Molester oppressors. Not only did all that happen, then I'm bleeding all over myself, right? They don't give a shit. The fucking U of L hospital people didn't give a shit. When I go to jail, they rough me up there. They cut me underneath my fucking eye, and they molest me there. So to think an oppressor could also be a molester, that's fucking obvious. Of course they can.